Alright, we got the Scotch. Now we tried to do a bullet. I tried to stream the bullet tournament, but there was some kind of problem with the tournament. It bugged out, and it stopped for everyone. It was weird. I've never seen it before. But I stopped the stream and I deleted the video, so yay. Anyway, I don't normally do the bullet ones. And lately I've been starting the streams with talking about theory. But let's just talk about theory as we go today. Wait, is it doing the same problem? No, good. Okay. It had this problem where it said you were playing the game, but then you could never get to the game. It was weird. And everybody had 0 in the tournament, so it was a bug. And we're gonna win. We're gonna win. Win! The W! Yes! The W! Hard-earned W. Oh god, is it doing the same thing? I think no. Maybe I should have tested it out before starting today. Oops. But we can always just play some regular games and discuss the theory anyway. Yeah, it's broken. It's broken. There's a bug. You know what? Knowing Lichess, they're pretty good developers. They'll probably have this fixed by tomorrow, I'm guessing. Why is this happening? Is there something in the forums? The last one, too, I was able to... Well, the last one I played one game, and then that was it. We did get to play the game. Community forum. Lichess feedback, maybe bug reports. I think they're gonna figure it out. Anyway, that's a bummer. Dang, I was looking forward to it. So I guess I'll talk theory, and then I'll just play some ordinary games. I'm kind of lazy to talk theory. I don't really know it that well. But let's talk theory anyway. So let's actually just go to the start here. And partly these are my notes. I'm going to be careful. I'm very careful. I really try hard to not say something wrong. Okay? Try to say when I'm uncertain. And so I've done some preparation here. Now the funny thing is, hold on, I got to sip. The funny thing is that I was preparing for the Scotch yesterday, even when I didn't know there was going to be a Scotch tournament today. Just for my own games. And you know, what happens a lot to me, we get Scotch kind of positions. I'll often play this, and if white plays this, I often respond with this. And because the 4 Knights opening, you can see that it is 27% for white, 24% for black. So it's pretty equalish. So that's kind of why that's in my repertoire, if you will. Now there's a Spanish variation. So this is reminiscent of the Roy Lopez, but it's not the Roy Lopez. And there's the G3 move, and I don't know too much about that. Maybe going for because they're gonna fianchetto the bishop, right? So this is a King's Indian attack, basically, and which is interesting. King's Indian attack, great opening. Good to study. Fisher liked it as well, and at least when black played certain moves. Hold on, sipping. There's something I was going to say. Yes, a very common mistake is trying to play the Italian 4 Knights, and that is a mistake. You can see 44% for black, 17 for white after it takes here. It's the fork trick, and they got to take back. Some people try with the bishop here. It makes it even worse. 86% for black. Now, that's not the subject of this talk today, but yeah, this is a common thing. Now, it's not always good to be doing this. It depends on the position. And you got to watch, for example, if this knight weren't here, they could go here, check. Well, then you have a pawn to move. But anyway, depending on the position, you have to actually think about what's going on. But in this position, this is good for black. And yeah, if you're not aware of this already, definitely use these in your games, and you will. I frequently run into people playing this. It's sort of natural. These are natural moves, and people do it surprisingly often. I think a lot of people, a surprising number of people don't know about this trick. So do that, and then other than that stuff, those are the main variations. But then there's the Scotch variation, and this can transpose into a normal Scotch. So yeah, I don't know what you do. What do you do here? Leave a comment, because I play Knight of 6, and, well, we often end up... Usually people play this, I think. That's what I usually run into. And so I take... there's Bishop B4 sounds interesting. I've never investigated that. The Knight takes... This could be sharp, maybe. Kraus Gambit? I gotta check that out. I don't know that. But normally takes 91% of games here. And, yeah. I don't know about this line. Looks dubious, 33% for black. And so normally takes. And now, we're in a line from the Scotch. Well, not quite. I think this will make it a bit unique. If we play here, we're in a line from the Scotch. I think that's how the theory works. So if we play here, this is the more unique line, I think. Or is it the other way around? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a good... I run into these a lot. So regardless of what you think of the Scotch, if you are a person who responds to E4 with excuse me. If you're a person who responds to E4 with E5, I mean, maybe you're always playing the Russian defense or something. I don't know what you're doing exactly, but... Or the Philidor, which is... I hate the Philidor for black, but... we had a disaster stream about that yesterday. Worst stream I've ever done. Now that I've studied the Philidor, I like it from the white point of view. So I'm excited to play the Philidor with the white pieces, but gosh. And some of the lines with the black pieces are okay. But white can choose to play boring lines against the Philidor, and no, I really hate it. So just because it's boring, bleh. But even those boring lines are ostensibly good for one's chess. So I will swallow the bitter pill and play the Philidor sometimes. But gosh, I need a good long break from the Philidor after that terrible stream yesterday. And also, I talked about it in the stream. For the first time ever, I did one of these tournaments without streaming it, because I figured it was going to be terrible. And I prepared a lot for the Philidor. I watched all the hanging pawns videos, etc. But I still thought it was going to be terrible. And I lost 5 games in a row, like right out the gates. But I wasn't streaming. So that goes to show, like, if you're in a opening that you're uncomfortable with, man, it's gonna you're gonna pay a toll for that. So anyway, so I'm running into this a lot after this, and it, like I said, it can transpose into. So this is four Knights game Scotch variation accepted, but it can transpose into normal Scotch game lines. And my stance is that if you want to know an opening well, you should play it from both sides. I really believe that, because if you don't do that, like if you do that, there will be a lot of creative ideas that you will face that will challenge how you think about that opening. If you don't do that, you risk just sort of being in a stagnant state regarding that opening, where you always play a certain way, and in order, I think it's so much better to play from both sides. So I want to play the Scotch with the white pieces. I've played it a little bit with the white pieces, but I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay. But I think this four knights case is a good motivating example to say, well, if you're serious about chess, I think pretty much everyone who's serious about chess should study the Scotch at some point. Okay. So getting into the Scotch proper, if you will, we have this. Now, typically takes, you might run into some other stuff. Yeah, I don't really know these other lines. Almost always you run into takes. Again, I'm not an expert, so I can only say so much, and I'm being careful. Now, so there's bishop c4, the Scotch Gambit. Now you can see, for the Masters database, it's 6% better for black. And with the white pieces, that's not something you want. However, let's look at the Lichess database. I haven't looked at it, but I have a very strong feeling that it's going to be better for white. Let's look. 54% for white, 42% for black. And it's better, it scores better than the main move, knight takes. Right, so as I thought. Because the Scotch Gambit is a little sharp. And there's really two lines after this. So again, d6 here, not scoring well for black, and there's a bunch of other probably questionable moves. Yeah, there's basically only two lines, and this bishop c5 line, pretty sharp. I'm gonna switch to the Lichess database because, if we're talking about grandmasters, yeah, maybe this is depressing and you shouldn't do this with white. Okay. But we're trying to play for our level so that we learn. That's important. Don't try to play as a grandmaster right from the beginning, because there's a lot to learn. I mean, like the King's Gambit, for example. I mean, even world champion Spassky was using that, and you need to learn it. In the King's Gambit, you'll learn a lot about chess from it as well. So don't jump straight to playing like a grandmaster when you're still learning the more basic things. So, there's really these two variations. Again, there's other lines, but let's focus on the two. And so this is pretty sharp, this bishop c5. We can play, again, looking at the masters, I think the way you want to play this is the knight to g5 line. This is scoring best for white here. Castles is getting rocked on. c3 not doing as well. It's really the knight to g5 line. c3 is scoring well in the Lichess database, but I don't know. For the Masters, knight to g5 is scoring the best, and it's a little tricky. So, but maybe, yeah, this is what I'm interested in here with the Scotch Gambit. So this is being attacked twice. They've got to protect it. The only move is knight h6, protecting the pawn. But we do this piece sacrifice. So knight takes. And then knight takes. Bishop takes, check. And we did give up a piece. And queen h5 check. The idea is that we're hitting the bishop. So g6. Queen takes c5. Now you can see now in the Masters database 28% to 30%. So pretty equalish. But for our level, if you're not a grandmaster, I think that playing this position with the white pieces is very appealing, right? Look at this king. The king safety for black is terrible. So below master level, this is very interesting, I think. If you're looking for a weapon to crush, if you're a normal human who's not like a master at chess, okay, and you're looking for a weapon to crush people in chess with, this could be it. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm always looking for, like these really sharp lines where you have to know a lot of theory or else you're gonna get crushed. A lot of people avoid theory. I think, this is my personal opinion, if your goal is to avoid theory, why are you doing chess as a hobby? I know that sounds maybe dickish or something, but yeah, I mean, if you detest theory, maybe chess isn't for you. Is that crazy to say? I love theory, actually. I mean, and people say, like, if you're super beginner, okay, I don't know if you need to study openings right in the beginning, but people will say like, oh, don't study openings. You know, it's you got to study tactics and everything else. And you know, openings are overrated. Okay, maybe a little bit, but you learn so much from studying openings, from the opening theory. I will die on that hill. And what I want to find are really sharp lines where if my opponent hasn't studied these complicated lines, you know, if I can take them into some like very niche area where if they're not extremely well prepared, they're going to get crushed. And that's my goal. So I like theoretical lines. I'm the opposite of some people. And so there's two moves here, really. D5, D6. What's the computer say? D5 or D6? It briefly said rook E8. What's the rook E8 stuff about? Now it's going... Yeah, it for a brief moment it said rook E8, but now it's... it just gave 8/10 of a point to white here. Queen D5 check. I don't know. If I had this in a game, I wouldn't be stressed out. I'll tell you that much. And D5, D6. So D6 is scoring well for white even at a high level. So it's kicking the queen, but we come to queen C4, check. And knight E6. Oh, sorry, bishop E6. And queen E2. And we have a game of chess to play after that. Now, I think it's scary to play this with the black pieces, but I will also play it sometimes with the black pieces. Now, after, for example, after D5 here, which D6 is looking like a much more natural, obvious move, but scoring a lot worse. Let's check the Elite Chess database real quick. D6, most common move. Queen F6. D5 is rare. Yeah, I was going to say, this doesn't look like the most natural, obvious move from an amateur point of view, right? But it is scoring well. So, but this has a signal here that whoever plays D5 probably knows the theory here. So, Masters database, yeah. D6 is scoring really well for white. So, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, only 5% of players play the correct move in this position, D5. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And it's it's not an obvious move, right? It's kind of unnatural looking. But after D5, and I think, so I played definitely up to here, and I think they played D5 against me. Yo, bro, I'm not ignoring you. Were you chatting earlier? At what point was I ignoring you, bro? How you doing? You've been ignoring me. I haven't seen you around lately. So, I think my opponent played D5. Maybe, no, I think they played D6 against me. But I didn't really know up until, this is as far as I knew. And I got into this yesterday, this exact position. So, anyway, so after D5, I don't know. I haven't looked this far. Honestly, I think I'm interested in playing this with the white pieces. But anyway, so most popular move is castles, d takes e4. But one thing's for sure, so I was going to say, I'm also interested in playing this eventually with the black pieces, because it's supposed to be better, right? It looks awful. It looks terrifying to play with the black pieces, but it will make your chess better. Like, figuring out how to survive this has got to make your chess better. Bro, you're streaming like 2 times a month? Now I'm streaming several times a day. Right now. There was a week where I streamed only 6 times in a week. I had some other things going on. But I'm back in business here, okay? Back in business. Let's play later, by the way, or very soon, because the lichess. There's some kind of bug with the tournaments going on. I'm gonna finish saying everything I know about the Scotch, which I'm not an expert, but I've learned some things. And then I'm gonna see if the tournament is still bugging or not, and then we'll see what happens. Anyway, we were looking at this line. Which happens after... So this is a Scotch Gambit. Okay, so that's one of the lines, right? Very complicated, very sharp, and very fascinating. The other line is knight f6. Now here, and this is actually what made me... Facing this with the black pieces is actually what made me want to learn the Scotch with white, specifically the Scotch Gambit. Because I think this is a bit sharp. We're going to play e5 here. So let's check the lichess database. e5, okay, 50% for white. But e5, and you know, actually, yeah, d5. So the main move is d5. Although it's not scoring that well for... These sidelines are scoring well for black, apparently. Anyway, it's complicated. That's what I want. Okay? And we can study and learn. So it's really these three moves. If they don't play these three moves, they might be in trouble. And yeah, at a lower level, d5 is really their only hope for black to have an advantage here, it looks like. d5 is the main move. At least the way people... I've watched a lot of videos, the way people normally teach it. And it's not an obvious move because you think like, oh, I have to think about this en passant, and then castles and bring the rook over and all. You have to think about all this complicated stuff. So we go bishop b5. And they need to go knight e4. Well, that's the main move. There's knight d7. Knight d7, knight e4. So to be honest, I don't know it that well. And I haven't played it that much. Actually, with the white pieces, I haven't played it at all. But I think it's very complicated. There's a lot of sharp theory here. And that's my goal, is to learn it. But I did learn the bishop c5 line in more depth. And really, those are the only two lines here that are very serious. Bro, please play Scotch Game Classical. Intermezzo variation. I don't know that one, you know. I don't know it. Let's see what else I can say about the Scotch. So that's the Scotch Gambit. That's what I want to play with white. And other than that, generally, the knight takes d4 line. And so there's this, which is the classical variation, which is the subject of today's tournament. There's knight f6, which is... What was this? Steglitz variation or something like that? Schmidt variation. And so this was played, very famously, this was played in the World Championship, Kasparov versus Karpov. And so Kasparov beat Karpov using the Scotch. Before that, and that was 1990, so the Scotch was not really thought of as a serious opening before that. And so after that, those two games, after they drew one and then Kasparov won the other. After those two games, the Scotch became popular in the World Championship. You know, that's a big deal. So that's one line, the Schmidt variation. I think there's like 4 lines, because there's 4 or 5 you got to remember. There's also the Goring Gambit with c3, and it's sort of like you can get into even like a Danish gambit kind of thing. You ignore what's going on over here and just play this. They could take, and so on. So that's interesting in its own right, the Goring Gambit, and that's with that is with c3. Goring Gambit. Scotch Gambit here we talked about already. And otherwise, takes. And then it's black's turn, and we've got the Schmidt variation with knight f6. Queen d4. Right. Bishop c5 is a classical variation, theme of today's tournament. Now this bishop b4 move is not that complicated. You play c3 here. Knight c3 is a little dubious, but you should learn the theory if you're going to play. If you're going to play this with black, you might want to learn the theory here. But normally it's c3 kicking the bishop, and then they just go back. The idea is that black's idea was that the difference between that and just playing here is that the pawn's here, and so they're just saying, well, it's preventing the knight from coming here. So I mean, that's one way. It's an option. The Melanuk variation. I don't know it very well. That one. It's 6% here. And the other sidelines, I honestly, I've seen a little bit about Queen f6, but I don't really know it well enough to talk about it. These are the main variations here. The main variations are the Schmidt variation with knight f6 and the classical with bishop c5. So, like I said, I was preparing to play the Scotch Gambit with the white pieces, and just for educational purposes, I studied the classical variation and the Schmidt variation, thinking, should I sometimes... Well, actually, I have to be prepared, don't I? No. With white, you can choose the gambit, and they can't take you elsewhere. But I was thinking maybe sometimes I'll take here, and then, you know, do I want to experiment with these lines also? So these are the main moves. And having studied them a bit, I can tell you they're very, very complicated. They're very deep. And so yesterday when I was doing this preparation, just for my own game, not for the tournament, because I didn't know the tournament was going to be the Scotch, I decided to avoid these because they're extremely deep, extremely complicated. And I told myself yesterday, I'll wait until these show up on the Lee chess tournaments, and then I'll investigate them, because they're very deep. It's like the Rogozin of the Queen's Gambit Declined. It's like the Semislav, or, you know, the Roy Lopez. It's one of these very complicated, deep openings. And that's why Kasparov chose it for the World Championship. Because that's what you want. You want a lot of complexity, and then hope to be better prepared than your opponent by, you know, doing a deep study. And if you can take things where your opponent doesn't know that you're going to take them, and you're better prepared, well, that's an advantage. So, yeah, these are the two lines, and I studied them a lot. Well, 2 or 3 hours maybe, but they're very complicated. And actually, so I don't have a lot to say. I will say, though, that Gotham Chess has a good video called the Potter, because this one's called the Potter variation, I think. Yeah, the Potter variation. So Gotham Chess has a video on the Potter variation, and he also gives you some ideas against the, what's it called? Schmidt variation. And I would recommend Gotham Chess's videos, it's just one video, over Hanging Pawns on this, because the Hanging Pawns video is he does both. There's one video on the Schmidt, and there's one on the classical. But they're extremely deep. There's lots of complicated variations. It's very advanced. So I'd recommend the Gotham Chess video, because he talks more about general ideas and gives you a lot of good ideas, which is really what you want. And so the Potter variation happens after knight b3. It's the third most popular move. There's also takes and bishop e3. So this is a Potter variation. Typically, the bishop goes back, you play knight c3, and I believe, if I remember correctly, Gotham Chess was talking about getting castled queenside and launching pawn storm on the king side, which is very appealing to me. So using his ideas, I'm going to be interested in that. He also pointed out that if the bishop comes back here, you can play f4. That's what he said. F4, 3%. I think that's what he said. F4, or whatever. Forget about it. But that's the Potter variation here. And so, by the way, Black is setting up... I'm good. How are you doing? How's it going? How's friends and family? Black is kind of setting up a trap because... Are they? Hold on. No. White is setting up a trap with bishop e3. At a high level, everybody knows it. And this is scoring... that's the lead chess database. 52% for white. With masters, it's the most popular, but there's really just these three variations. You can play either of them. And it's kind of setting up a trap in the sense that you're threatening to take here with tempo on the queen and then take the bishop. Okay. So the idea, 96% play queen f6, and partly you're protecting the knight. And I don't know enough to really talk about after that. And then there's an immediate knight takes c6. Now here, you don't really want to take here. This is very drawish. Which I guess if you want to draw, you could do that. There's, what? 4 games here, and it's they all drew. Let's check the lead chess database. D takes c6. Of course, amateurs like us, we don't draw very often, right? It's drawish though. B takes c6, more popular. Makes more sense. What does the computer say? On low depth, the queen f6 move. So the idea here with queen f6 is you're threatening checkmate. So they need to stop it some way. Like, for example, queen f3, and then takes... the computer's saying here, but let's go back to master's database. So that's interesting. So the lead chess players are usually doing d takes. Okay, some masters are doing that. Anyway, most popular b takes. And we got a game of chess after that. So that's one line. And for the classical, I don't have much more to say about it, to be honest. Schmidt variation. Oh, yeah. So Schmidt variation normally takes. This is how Kasparov played, I'm pretty sure. And almost everybody takes with the b pawn. These 19 games with d takes is actually getting crushed at a high level. B takes. And yeah, e5. So this is interesting, e5. Now, if they go 94, they can go e4, 94, and knight d5. The best variation for black, or at least the most popular, I'm not sure about best, but most popular, which with 96% of high-level games, queen comes here, pinning the pawn, stopping them from taking. So we unpin, and now the knight needs to move. They go knight d5, and there are different lines. Actually, Gotham Chess recommends, I think he recommends h4 here. Yeah. We have ideas of bishop coming here is an idea, and just other ideas about attacking. But yeah, Gotham Chess recommends that. This is the main move, most popular, c4, and it can get complicated and very theoretical. Bishop a6, b3, and so on. So I don't prepare that deep because I figure most of my games are going to diverge earlier than this. And I think most players with black at my level are not going to play queen here. They're probably going to move the knight. Who knows? But let's see, knight e4 and knight d5. This looks less sketchy. What happens after knight e4? I kind of forget what... Gotham Chess had a recommendation here. I sort of forget. And here as well. Here we can play c4. And... That's interesting. 97. Unnatural looking move. Lead chess database. This is rare. 7%. Normally you're going to run into knight b6. And at a high level, white is crushing. 53%. Bishop d3. Yeah. Actually, Gotham recommends this line. And then d5 is probably the best move. But yeah, we have ideas of here. If they castle. So I haven't really gone further than this, but this position already was recommended by Gotham. So that's the Schmidt variation. We can take, push the pawn. If they know what they're doing, probably they go here. Go here. And if you want to play something highly theoretical, you can go here. Gotham recommended is h4. Otherwise, if they didn't move the queen there, they probably went here. I still don't know what to do about knight e4. I'll run into it when I run in, if I see it in a game. And here, probably c4 is Gotham recommended. I don't think he talked about what to do with knight e7. It's somewhat rare at the lower level. And then here, this is Gotham recommended. So that's about all I know about the Scotch. That's about all I know. Will the tournaments work? Yeah, it says I'm playing the game. No, I'm not. Yep, so just lead chess isn't working today. That's it. I might end the stream. I'm a little tired. Thinking of ending the stream here. Oh, you're there. All right, you want to play? We can play. I didn't know if you were there. If you're there, we can play. What did I do to you? I didn't think you were still there. I don't know, because you're not chatting. Do you want to play? So I made a new account though, UV Wizard. So challenge me here or tell me your name again so I can find you. Black to move. Another back rank checkmate, huh? Moment. Why? Why? Did you see that? It said I cannot accept this challenge. Why? Maybe try to add me as a friend or something? Maybe... Do I have to play like a random game first or something? So add me as a friend. Okay. Oh, because it has to be unrated for some reason? I don't know. Alright, it looks like we got a game started. That's good. It's because I'm in Japan, bro. It doesn't know my search history because I cleared it out. These are just ordinary ads in Japan. Though I've been to this company, DMM. Bishop there, huh? There's a way to punish this. And we use the fork trick. Alright, so I gotta worry about queen f3. Of course we can go back. Things can get hairy quickly. Looks okay though. Let's protect this pawn, I guess. So I don't know if this was a good idea for black. They're gonna keep doing the ads, huh? I have premium. The problem is... I hate the ads. Bothers me a lot. I'll switch to my other premium account if we keep playing, because I hate ads. Yeah, sorry, I was on the telephone. Okay, I'm not sure what this king move is about here. Unpinning the knight, huh? Okay, so you want to put your knight here. What have you been up to? Have you been playing Roblox? I want to try playing Roblox and chess. I'm sure there's Roblox and chess. Chess and Roblox. I'm sure there's some places. Although, I'm just curious. I'm also curious about making chess in Roblox. That sounds fun. I think this looks very attractive here. We can always take the bishop. We're down 1 point right now, but we might take that bishop. This king move was highly dubious. Highly dubious in my professional opinion. This is also looking nice. Can do that first. Win an extra pawn. It's not letting me pre-move, huh? Ads are annoying, huh? Telling me I'm in check. Thank you, thank you. This pins my knight, and I have to worry about this in the future. I'm thinking maybe I prefer here. These knights are also protecting each other, which is a bonus. Oh, that was kind of loud, sorry. Blew out everyone's ears. Oh, I can castle. So that's been an annoying thing for a long time, was here, when that bishop was there. Preventing me from castling. Now it looks like I can castle. Yay! Castle. Okay, tempo on the queen. Expected. I can just take this pawn, which looks nice to me. Threatening to take the other pawn. King is not safe. The black king is not safe. Protecting. Now my queen looks awkward. No escape squares here. I gotta worry about you cutting me off and everything, so I better get back, probably. Let's go here. We're blocking the passed pawn. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that looks like maybe a good move. But still am happy. Let's get these rooks involved in the game a little bit. Oh, that's check, huh? That is check. Seems a little dangerous. Let me go this way. That's also dangerous because of this. Both are dangerous. The way is dangerous. here after blah, 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 blah. I have to worry about this move. It's ugly. It is ugly. If here, oops, here takes the pawn possibly, or here takes the pawn with check, is not any better. Threatening to fork the king and queen. I might go over here. Trying to get away. Gotta watch out for queen coming in here. And otherwise, let's try to diffuse things a bit here. I'm not material. I want to diffuse the situation a bit. Yeah, bro, because of you, I started playing Roblox. Now I can't stop. Now you can't stop playing. That's not good. So that's what you've been doing lately. You've been cheating on me. You've been cheating on me with Roblox. I should never have introduced you. It's like a girl who introduced her friend, and now the boyfriend is playing around with the friend. Terrible. Alright, shall we force the exchange? Cost me a queen. We may have better moves, right? We may want to look for better moves. We can force the exchange without sacrificing a pawn. After we move here, I go here. Why is it not letting me pre-move? Like, is that a thing for beep 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 beep. Okay. Save and go back. There we go. We got the pre-moves in business. I gotta take the queen, bro. That's how I roll. Maybe I should have protected the pawn. Let's see. After takes, though... whatever. Always nice when the knights protect each other. Very hard to deal with. And probably force exchange again. Start attacking the pawns. We gotta start moving faster, huh? 1:30 on the clock. If you take, I win the knight. Blunder. Just takes. Nice. Okay, now we gotta think. Ah. Ugh. I wasn't fast enough in the end. GG. That was a good one. I did enable it. It's just it's actually harder with the rook, you know. With the queen I can do more pre-moves, but why? Was that a mistake? Was that a misclick? Do they not have takebacks on chess.com? So I don't recall, do you play King's Indian Defense normally? Because I haven't seen you do it much. Have you been learning? Actually, it was a good decision. I regret this move with my G-pawn losing tempo. Though this is a problem for you. So you're threatening to remove the defender, which is a good idea. I think I can go here. Oh, I can lose this, unfortunately. And what else have we got going on? This bishop's kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. Oh well. I was stuck with a knight defending that pawn, and my rook was stuck in the corner, so I don't know that I mind giving up the pawn. And although I should have noticed, so I could at least think about it. And okay. Let me think. I was thinking about trying to trap this knight, but I don't think it works. So I'm just gonna threaten the exchange. Because you had, after the rook, after I lose the rook, you can go over here. I was trying to trap it with the bishop. I don't think I had time. So I'm just limiting the moves with the knight. So by moving the pawn here, you no longer have this square. So let's look at the squares for the knight. Everything is threatened except you just take the pawn. Oops. Oopsie daisies. But let's see, you can't go there. Maybe I can shut it down. Maybe. It's a little tricky. These squares I gotta get. I want to trap the knight. Let me trap it. It's a little hard to defend the pawn. I think that... What was I thinking? You should probably have gone here. And then I was probably going to sack. And still, I was going to be probably winning. But... Rematch. Stopping e4. So we're going for London. We challenge the London with... This is the best way to challenge the London. But I don't know the theory after c5 that well. But the idea is, you know, you've moved the bishop, so defending these pawns can be a bit of a tricky business. You had to move the queen over... Wait. Here, I guess, to protect both the pawns. I wish they'd allow take-back... Oh, they do allow take-backs. No, they don't. No take-backs on chess.com, right? Anyway. So, I'm up a pawn with the black pieces. You've got a strong center. I might want to play d5. Try to stake my claim in the center. That looks nice to me. Rook is... If a rook comes here, I take the pawn. My queen doesn't feel too in danger just yet. I love... The exchange is great for me. I love it. You're threatening the bishop. So I'm going to move it somewhere. Could also just move the knight. Then the pin might be a little annoying to move the bishop here. I think it's okay. Let's develop the knight. Bishop b5, bishop d2, or d7. Okay, eyeing this square with the knight. That's a nice move. That's a nice move. Try to solve my problems on the queen side a bit. We want to go here and get this bishop out and castle if possible. Yeah, these are good ideas. Good ideas. But I think it's okay for me. I think we're okay. Fortunately, my king is not stuck defending because we got the knight. So that's okay. What happens next? It's kind of an X-ray on this pawn. It's a good move. Here I take, but I think it's still good for you. Do some exchanges, although I'll probably take back with the pawn. But eventually, if you can get your rook here, get the other rook to support it, think that's a good plan for you. But there's a lot of complexity here with the exchanges. Now, what are my plans? I don't really know. I don't really know what my plans are. Maybe I need to support this bishop so this knight can move out, maybe. Maybe. I mean, that's a good score for the knight, obviously. What else? I think that's my plan. So you're attacking it thrice, and I'm defending twice. But. Let's go for the craziness. I didn't calculate it out. Let's just go for it. We take with check. Yeah, so I want a piece of... Wait. Yeah, I want a piece. Because of the intermezzo. Let me just make sure. No tricks. I think we're okay. Still like this idea, getting the rook here. But it's hard being down 4 points. Okay, this is my last game though. Let's do, yeah, that was a good hour-and-a-half stream. And see you next time. Thanks for the games. GG's. Thank you. Goodbye. Roblox next, huh? Okay, I'll do some more Roblox streams soon. You more interested in the playing Roblox or in the me developing games? Or it doesn't matter? Both. Okay, cool. Alright, man. See ya. Thanks. Take care.